JD here, and as you can see, we are finally back, and we are back talking about the F1 games, which you may have noticed I haven't been doing a whole lot of recently, and the main reason for that is just very simply I just have not been enjoying it. And without making a whole dedicated video on this, because I know a lot of other people have done very similar videos, for me the handling feels okay, feels fairly nice to drive. It's not so much the issue. The issue is just really the racing itself and just the dynamics of the game online, particularly with the slipstream, which I can't believe hasn't been addressed, and I think quite honestly just kills the entirety of the racing on F1 25. And there are many other things as well, such as little bugs, the game effectively being the same, things like that, which we could go on and on about, which I've done many times and many others have done as well. But today we aren't really going to be talking about that. We are going to be talking about the bombshell that Codemasters decided to drop yesterday, and that is in regards to the future of the F1 game, more specifically F1 26. So if you follow them on their Twitter and their Instagram, they released a statement yesterday talking or saying that the F1 26 game will not be released as a full official game, but instead they will be releasing it on the F1 25 game, but as a paid patch / DLC. And that's what we're going to be talking about here. And as always, please let me know your thoughts and opinions, because your opinions are the ones that ultimately decide the future of this series and is the most important in this aspect. So please let me know what your thoughts are, what you think is going to happen with the future of the F1 games with Codemasters, and what this game franchise actually needs to really reignite itself. So you can see with the statement there and everything I just said, there will be a paid DLC. And what does that mean for the future of the F1 game? So if you have F1 25 already, then yeah, you will have access to this DLC. You'll have the option to buy it. I really do expect this to not be the full price of a new game, since it isn't an official brand new game. I really hope they are sensible with their pricing. If anything, if it was my way, I would be doing a free patch update, like all the patch updates are free here, because you're not paying for effectively new game. You're just literally updating the game with brand new liveries and sounds and things like that as well. The issue for people who don't have the F1 25 game, if you want to play F1 26, you're going to have to purchase F1 25. And at the moment, although the price is a little bit cheaper than the original price, it isn't actually that much cheaper, as you can see here, and I really don't think it is worth that right now. So you'll still have to be spending quite a bit of money in order for yourself to get access to the F1 26 game. But if we take a little look at the statement itself, they mention that F1 25 had a lot of praise from the players, media, content creators and F1 drivers alike. Quite honestly, I feel this is just really insulting the player base and just their intelligence. And I think this has been one of the main reasons why this franchise and series has been in such a decline. In my opinion, I think the biggest aspect of this is just that Codemasters just don't listen to feedback at all. They either don't listen to feedback or they just can't implement the feedback. If we're going just for this current year's game, the F1 25, a lot of people have said the slipstream needs to be fixed. It needs to be more of a 1-to-1 ratio with the dirty air. So the closer you get with the dirty air, the more paramount it is. Should be the same with the slipstream as well. The closer you get, the more of the effect you get, which is going to produce good racing. It's going to mean in races where you are maybe not a good qualifier, but you're much better at race and managing yourself in the race, or just better race pace than other people, you can actually overtake. You don't have to use these stupidly low aero wings, things like that as well. You don't need about 80-90% more battery than other people to actually make a simple overtake on this game. And for me, I'm no programmer, but surely to do a patch update of that wouldn't be rocket science. From speaking to some people behind the scenes who actually work on the game, the main reason is, with every reason, it seems to be with these recent patches and recent years, if they change something like that with the slipstream and the dirty air, things like that, the tyre wear, that is going to have a massive effect on the AI. And the AI career mode seems to be Codemasters' baby, although I don't think the career mode is that good, and it hasn't really been good for a long time in my opinion. It's not really immersive, and the AI are not amazing, so I don't really think it's really a lose-lose situation if you did that. But that is apparently, it seems to be the main reason, which it is. I think it's not a very good reason, but regardless, I think they could have done many things by just listening to the community. I understand they can't address all the concerns, but things that are really fundamental, that are going to change the dynamics of the game to make it better, I just don't understand why they haven't done that. And for me, that is one of the main reasons why I have not played F1 25 for a long time now. I probably won't be playing it again until the release of F1 26 to see when that happens. And again, going back to my point, I think with them not listening to feedback, I feel they try and invest as little as possible to receive the most amount on the return of investment. So they pump a lot of things into the marketing, the trailers, everything like that. It's kind of like a restaurant. If you have really good marketing, it looks really great from the outside, but then you go inside and the food is trash. Yeah, they've already got your money, but are you going to pay for it again? And using that analogy, I would say a good business that thrives, that keeps on improving over time. If you do an example of, we've got 365 days in a year, a good business theoretically would only need, say if you needed to occupy one slot a day for a year to turn over a really good profit, you would actually only need 30 reoccurring loyal customers who'd be booking around once or twice a month, or just even once a month. You're going to be making a really good profit. However, if you have 30 customers come in the first month and they have a really terrible experience, the food is not good or something like that, they're not going to be coming again. So then the next month, you're going to need another 30 new customers. And if that happens again, and if that happens after month one, for the rest of the months for the year, you're going to be needing, instead of just 30 reoccurring customers, technically, you're going to be needing 335 customers. Brand new customers, a new customer every single day to make that business profitable. And after a while, it's not going to be profitable and it's not going to be sustainable. And that's something I fear has happened to these games, because despite what the statement says, I don't think it has been a success for the last really 4 to 5 years now. I think ever since really F1 2020, which I would say is personally the last decent F1 game that I have played. 21 had a bit of a boost, but that's because F1 2020 was good. Again, if you make a good product, people want to come back the next year. But then when you make a bad product like F1 21 and then F1 22, which we don't need to discuss, you can see by the statistics here, which are all based off Steam, by the way, at the PC platform, which is the esports platform for this franchise. You can see the concurrent players and then also just the copies sold. With the exception of F1 25, where the concurrent players had a bit of a rise through the marketing, other than that, you can see that has been a pretty clear decline. And I think it's because of what I've just mentioned before. Yes, there are many other things, there are many bugs and things like that, but effectively, I feel like we have had the same game, literally the same game, recycled, charged at the full retail price, fooling us or just insulting people's intelligence with this marketing, the trailers, having paid content creators, which we don't need to get into, saying how good it is, a paid media and journalists saying it's the racing game of the year before the game has even come out, which is just ridiculous. It is really, you can see by the statistics now, people just aren't falling for that anymore. And if you continue to make a bad product, this is what is going to happen. And the reason why I think the news has happened that we received yesterday is because EA Codemasters were given the contract of the F1 games till 2025, but there was a clause in that contract that this could be extended to 2027. And I think with the recent decline that we have seen from the F1 games in the past years, not just in the game itself, but clearly conveyed through the sales now and the concurrent player base, when F1 is one of the biggest sports in the world, I don't think it should be having this problem. I think there is just so much room for growth within this industry in every aspect. It should be making a tremendous amount of profit. It should be having not only the existing players but brand new players coming in each year because of how good the experience is, and the budget behind it, everything like that as well. I think it's been completely unacceptable, and that the games has really been left to rot in this state, if you want to call it that. And I think the reason why they have decided to take this action is because I feel F1 27 is Codemasters' last chance to prove that they are still worthy of developing the F1 game. Yes, EA don't have a great reputation themselves with the likes of FIFA, all those kind of things, but those games are actually very profitable and they actually make quite a lot of money each year. And with F1 and the industry it's in, I feel this game, even EA are probably thinking now, you know what, we should probably be making a lot more money and selling a lot more copies, given the state of how big this sport actually is. So I feel the reason why they've done this patch is that it will allow them to have a lot more time to make a brand new game on F1 27. That's the only thing I really sympathise with. If you compare to like Call of Duty, who have like 2 or 3 different developers on the go, the reason why they can make somewhat brand new games every time is because each developer has 2 to 3 years to actually make that game. Whereas Codemasters, they don't have that. They actually have literally less than a year. And obviously with the marketing and all these other things as well, it's probably a lot less than that to get another game out upon release. So that's something I do sympathise. However, I do think F1 themselves should have elected to perhaps have different developers in rotation, or simply just give a lot more resources, or just give it to a new developer completely who can actually handle that. But at least with this now, there is no excuse anymore. Codemasters, they need to make a brand new game from scratch, not having the same 2015 engine recycled over and over again. The code has to be completely new, completely made from scratch, and it has to blow everything out the water as far as I'm concerned. Does it need to be a sim? That's purely in people's opinion. For me, it doesn't have to be a sim, but it has to be a game that is going to be very immersive. It's going to make you want to keep on playing it. It's going to feel worth the money. It's going to give you really good racing. It's going to have a skill gap. It's going to have a lot of things. I'll put a link in the video down below of what this guy said he wanted for F1 26, which I thought was a good video. For me, it's not anything really specific, but just a game that feels worth buying, and it's going to make you want to play it. It's going to give you good racing. The developer is actually going to listen to you, listen to the feedback of the community, not insult people's intelligence, and just think, you know what, this is well worth it actually playing this game. Because I think for a long time now, this series has had really no love or care whatsoever put into this, which makes me quite angry. And for me, I want these games to succeed, believe it or not. If these games succeed, my videos do better, other people's videos do better. It's something I've always loved to do. I've loved playing these F1 games, and because I've been playing it for a long time, it's always got a special place within my heart. But right now, there has to be something drastic, and I think Codemasters realise now they have to do something drastic, otherwise they do risk of losing the license themselves. So I think this could actually be a positive. It's quite a big risk as well, since we've got the F1 26 regulation changes. They're not going to have the platform and tools to really implement a lot of those changes. So they need to get F1 27 right, in my opinion. I don't mind them if it means almost taking a year off to make a completely brand new game from a brand new game engine, which is going to be exceptional and smash everything out the park, and something we've as a community deserved for years. I'm actually okay with that. I would rather them do that. It's something I've been asking for quite a long time. But those are just my thoughts. Please let me know yours. And yeah, I hope this can somewhat be a positive, but if it doesn't deliver, then I think we need a new developer, or there needs to be a new action plan moving forward. But those are my thoughts. Let me know what you think, and I will catch you very, very soon. Peace.